Here we are at Grey Gardens, which is the famous house from the documentary movie Grey Gardens by Albert Maysles. In 1976, he made this movie about Edie Beale and little Edie Beale, the mother and daughter eccentric family related to the Kennedys. It was filmed here 30 years ago, and in honor of the 30th anniversary this year, we're going to be at this fabulous party right here again 30 years later. Of course, the house looks a lot different and a lot better, and we're going to be honoring Albert Maysles for his beautiful film of Grey Gardens, which will be shown tonight at Guildhall after this cocktail party, and that's in honor of Guildhall's 75th anniversary. I'm Debbie Tuma with WVVH. Come take a walk with us through Grey Gardens and interview some people who are here to celebrate 30 years later of the documentary film Grey Gardens. The reason we're all here tonight is because the movie Grey Gardens was done by the famous filmmaker Albert Maysles. Hello, Albert.
Hi.
And this is an exciting night for you, and I know it's been a long time coming, this planning of doing this screening, and this is all part of the 30th anniversary of the movie Grey Gardens, which was you made in 1976.
Right, with my brother.
With your brother.
Right.
Say his name, David.
My brother David.
We have to give him credit too,
Right,
the two of you.
right.
And so this is how do you feel that this has finally come to fruition and how it's actually been 30 years? And the movie still matters.
Oh, well, the movie has had one life after another. Every time it's shown, to me, it's sort of another life. That two recluses should reach out into the world the way almost no one else has. There's been a off-Broadway musical. It's going to be a Broadway musical in October. There's a feature film that's being made in Los Angeles with Drew Barrymore and Jessica Lange. Just recently we found an hour and a half of material that didn't make it into the film, and that's a whole film in itself. That's going to be on DVD. One of Edie's relatives is doing a book with photographs and all kinds of memorabilia. I think I've just scratched the surface as to how the lives of these two women have gone forth from reclusion in this home to being famous people.
Well, why do you think that is? Why do you think the story is so interesting to people?
Because part of it is that they're so eccentric, but it's often been said, and I think it's true of those two women, they're just like anybody else, but more so.
That's absolutely. People can relate. Maybe we all have a relative like that somewhere in our family, and part of us like that eccentricity that we all can't maybe express.
And sometimes, as often happens, those people in that family are sort of put aside, but they're the secret love of everyone.
Oh my gosh. Let's just tell people in a nutshell what this movie is about for people who may not have seen it.
Well, these two women come from an aristocratic American family, the Bouvier family, the family that Jackie was connected with.
Jackie Kennedy.
Yeah, right. And they wanted to be different from the way they were supposed to be. And so the mother wanted to be a singer, and she had a beautiful singing voice. The daughter wanted to be a dancer. And it seems as if for them, the only way to live the life of their own was to live it in seclusion here in this house. So they left the Bouvier clan and became this loving, extraordinary couple whose conversations were so full of the past, but in full bloom, that the film is something that engages you thoroughly. You can't forget those people. And in fact, almost more than so many other films, people see the film more than once.
You know what's really interesting to me about this whole thing, especially how you said the publicity is happening now, is you saw this story, you saw the interest of it 30 years ago, and you were the first person to really capture it in a movie, correct?
That's right.
And now, 30 years later, people are saying, hey, take a look at this. It's really something. It's really interesting. And thus, the Broadway musical coming out 30 years after your movie. What do you think of that?
Oh, it's no end. Even from the start, there were great fashion guys that saw in Edie's costumes that she created, you know, ideas for their own new fashion designs. That's only one of the many things that have come out of it. Um, there have been any number of Grey Gardens parties where people get together, men and women, actually more men than women, dressed up as the Edies
Oh my
from having
goodness.
seen the film.
Uh-huh.
And they memorized lines from the film so that the whole party is nothing but people conversing in quotations from the film.
Oh my goodness, that is something. There's almost a cult following of